Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper, and happy Tuesday to you. Tuesday means it's time for stories and stamps, and today I have a really fun fold for you. It's called a corner fold over. Yes, and I first saw this fold on Frenchie Stamps, so France Martin from the U.S., who has a delightful French accent. She's actually a former French Canadian, which I think is really cool. Anyway, thanks, Frenchie, for the inspiration. And I am going to use Meandering Meadow paper. I think that's what it's called. It's gorgeous. It's an online exclusive, and I'm really happy to share it with you. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I made a diagram. Now, so the piece of paper that you're going to need, a cardstock, is 8 1/4 by 7 inches. And then you're going to score it on the 8 1/4 side. You're going to score at 2 3/4, and on the 7 inch side at the top, you're going to score at 4 1/4. Then we're going to make a pencil mark at 1.5 inches on the 7 inch side and 5.5 inches on the 8 1/4 inch side. Now, if that has scrambled your brain, don't worry. I'm going to walk you through it. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to lay it out here. 8 1/4 by 7. Here's 2 3/4. Here's 4 1/4. And then a 5.5 inch pencil mark and then a 1.5 inch pencil mark. And then you're going to score that and it goes right through that intersection. And then when you push these in, it goes down. How cool is that? So I'm going to cut one using Petal Pink so that you can see how this is done, because I am a visual learner and all these measurements can scramble your brain, but it's really not that difficult. Just do it slowly. And I always suggest making more than one at a time, because then you kind of really get into the groove of it. Okay, so let's grab our Petal Pink and paper trimmer, and then we're going to get started. Okay, I should probably show you that beautiful paper, but we'll wait with that. So the European cardstock is already at 8 1/4, so I don't have to trim this. I just need this to go at 7 inches. Okay, so now we have 7 inches by 8 1/4, and on the 7 inch side, so I'm not going to move it, I'm going to score at 4 1/4. So I have the 7 inch side at the top of my paper trimmer, and then I'm just going to do this. Now that is going to go at the top of the card, okay, because this is going to be that corner. And now I'm going to score at 2 3/4. Here we go. So if you just remember that you need this corner at the top, because that's the part that's going to fold over. Now we need to get our pencil, which I just didn't get. So let me grab my pencil. So I don't want to measure in the trough because that's not quite as accurate. I'm going to just move my paper trimmer for a minute, and I'm going to grab my ruler. And so at the 5.5 inch mark at the top, so here we go. It's right here. We're going to make a mark. And then we're going to make a mark here at the bottom. Let me check at the 1.5 inch. I need to clean my ruler, I see. 1.5 right here. Okay, so then we're going to put this, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. I had some technical difficulties, so there might be a little gap in the recording. I really hope not. So now I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, and we're going to put those pencil marks in the trough. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better. You won't be able to see both marks, but there you can see the top one is in the trough, and then I'm just going to angle it so that the bottom line, both of those pencil marks have to be in the scoring trough. And then if you do it right, I'm going to give that a score line, and it should be right in the middle, see? So that's cool. Now we'll move the, we're just going to fold that with the bone folder, And then we're going to fold the other one again, and the last one. So if we have them all scored, then we gently press this in, like so, and then that flattens. It's really magic. It's just really awesome. So there, now we have it in petal pink. So here we have it. And what's really cool is that I was concerned that this would, I'm a very practical person. I love fancy folds, but I do not like it if that fancy fold won't stand up. And it does. It stands up on your desk just fine. Like, it doesn't show you, but it's really, really cool. So now we're going to take in our paper, and I'm going to show you how beautiful it is. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And I chose this one because if you look how nicely it stands, it's just that petal pink is in there. So you need 3 pieces of this pretty paper, and it's, I wrote it down. Where did I write it down? Just a minute. 2.5 by 2.5. So we have to figure this out. So there's a 2.5 piece here, and then there's another one here, and then there's also one here. And then on this bottom piece, you're going to have a piece that's 1.25 by 2.5. Okay? So now I need to figure this out. I should have maybe done this ahead of time, but I think I want this little piece here at the bottom, and then I'm going to do the 2.5. So yeah, you want the prettiest part of the scenery on those squares. Okay, now I'm just going to get my ruler and play, because this is where it's really important. So the bottom piece is 1.25. So yeah, that actually works out really well. Okay, let's chop, and then I'll show you the rest of the paper, because it's really, really stunning paper. I think it's perfect for birthdays, for thinking of you, for get well, for just about anything. Maybe not Christmas, but okay, so we're going to get our trimmer in. We're going to turn it, we're going to use this side. So your trimmer has 2 sections. So I was like using this small section. It goes to 1.5 inches. So we just need 1.25. So we're going to go like so to 1.25. And we're going to cut. And then we need it by 2.5. So here we go. We're taking that section because it's going to coordinate with the part above it. I'll move that aside. I'm going to put this far out of the way so I don't use it. Now we're going to turn this around, and it's going to 2.5 because our squares are 2.5 inch square. 2.5. And then 2.5 and 2.5. Now we do have a slight problem, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this piece is not 2.5. See, that's the piece that I have left. So I'm going to have to cut another piece from the paper to make my 3rd square. That's okay. I can use this for something else. No worries. Okay, so let's work with what we have. I'm going to move my trimmer so that you can see what I'm doing. We have 2 2.5 inch squares, and then we have this one that goes underneath. So that's going to be on our card front. So let's put those on while we have it all figured out. See, look, that one's going to go here. And you could mat it with another, I'm not sure why that one goes like so, but it seems to. I'm thinking I might make this one a little bit bigger. I want to go see what Frenchie did. I'm just following her instructions, but I think I would maybe make this one a little bit bigger. Yeah, okay. Well, and then this one goes at the bottom. So that's the thing when you case someone else's work, you can tweak it. You can change it to what you want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to put those 2 down, but I'm going to wait with this one because I'm not 100% sure if that's what I want to do. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. This little guy can go on the bottom. And like I said, you could add another layer of cardstock underneath, but that also, depending on where you live, that will add weight to your card. And some post offices charge by weight, not by size. So then you don't want to have your card weighing more, because then you have to pay more. And the more money you have to pay for stamps, the less likely you are to send cards. Now, in some markets, Christmas stamps are cheaper. In the Netherlands, Christmas stamps are cheaper, so I'm going to stock up. And sometimes there are also online places where you can get rolls of stamps that are cheaper. I know in Canada at Costco you can get a roll of 100 and you do save money. So here we have this. Now I'm going to pause this for a minute and I'm going to cheat and look at Frenchie's card. Well, the mystery is solved. Look, I must have had some extra of this paper left over that I took from Canada, and my card was 8.5 inches, not 8 1/4. So now that it's 8 1/4, take a look. It's perfect. So Frenchie didn't make a mistake, I did. So let's turn this around. But you know what? I could have left the card just the way it was, and I could have made this a different size. Okay, so that's another thing that you can keep in mind. So here we go. We're going to put that on. And now, because that middle part isn't, so you don't see this part when you open it up, so that means you could put anything in this side. And I could use this, but see, it's not that pretty anyway. I don't want to put that in the inside of my card. I could. You know what we're going to do? We're going to cut another one here. And it doesn't even have to be the same paper. So let's take a break from this card for a minute and let's take a look at the pretty paper. So this is the one that we used. And now look, here's another one. So you can see this one is softer. This one is brighter with the yellows. And there's 4 of each sheet. And I'll show you the back side in a minute. So you can definitely, I could cut this piece out and have something totally different. So this is really pretty with the daisy. So they have different flowers, different colors. They all look a little bit like Monet. So this would be, I would suggest, you know, part of the biggest joy of making cards is to do it with your friends. So you could get a pack of this paper and you could divide it in 4 and everybody would get 1 of each of the sheets. Or you could divide it in half because then you also have 2 of the other side. So just beautiful. And then you could spend a day making cards, and you could make cards for shut-ins. You could, you know, loneliness is one of the biggest problems today. And it's so easy to just cheer someone up with a card. So I don't know about you. I love these black-eyed Susans. Aren't they beautiful? I don't know what everybody might have a different name for these flowers. But you can see how lovely it is. How calming. Now, some of the brighter ones maybe aren't quite as calming. They're more like, oh, wow, brighten up your day. That's nice, too. And like this one might be more of a masculine one, so it's still flowers, but it's more, yeah. And this one, I like this one as well. I like them all. This is maybe why it's called Meandering Meadow. Just makes you want to go for a walk, doesn't it? Very pensive and reflective paper. So let's look at the other side. So and that's really nice. So you can stamp on that. This is very versatile. You can combine them. See, you can stamp your images on that too. You can stamp your sentiments. So, yeah, so all of these are great. You can pair that with just about anything. So you don't, in case you get tired of all the scenes, you have other options. And then here, this one has flowers on the other side too, which is a nice surprise. So I think I might use this. Look, kind of clouds. And this one. So these two. Now I'm going to take one of those two for my inside. Okay, so that's the pretty Meandering Meadows paper. And then I should show you the stamp set that goes with it. It's called Garden Meadow. I haven't played with it yet. I haven't stamped any of it. I have done some die cutting, but I haven't done any stamping. So I'm looking forward to playing with this as well. Too many good things to play with. So let's go back to our card here. And which one looks nice? And I think this one does, although so does this one here. This one almost looks like a close-up of these flowers. So now which part of the pretty picture do I want to ruin? I don't want to, I'm hoarding my paper. Okay, I'm going to cut off this side. Okay, so here we go. 2.5 by 2.5. And then look, we're going to make 2 of these. 2.5, because there's a little trick that you can do, and you can use cardstock or you can use pattern paper. So 2.5, I should get this so you can see. There, 2.5. Here's my card, and 2.5. And then you take this 2.5 and you cut it on the diagonal. Although I should wait. I'm a visual person. I might cut it wrong. Wait, Jackie. Okay. So here we go. We're going to put all our pretty papers away. And get our card again. And it goes like this. So now we're going to open this up. This is going to go here. And then see, this piece is going to go here and here. So I don't think I should cut a piece of this patterned paper, because otherwise this one's going to be upside down. Maybe it will work. We'll try it. Okay. So now to cut that one on the diagonal, you just put it in your cutting trough, the points each, like so. And if you really want to make sure, you can put these, well, no, that doesn't work. It doesn't fit the right size. Okay. No. Don't listen to my babbling. All right, there. I've got a point in each corner. Start in the middle and then just go both ways. Because sometimes if you start at the edge, you'll crush your corner. So when you're cutting a small thing in half, start with your cutting blade in the middle and then go both ways. Okay, so that's my little nugget of gold for the day. Sometimes people wonder, how do I come up with these little tips? And it's just really thinking about, as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, oh, why am I doing it this way? Oh, yes, I remembered I screwed up once. So, yeah, then I share that with you. So that one's going to go here. See, and now I don't even notice which way. Oops. And this one's going to go like so. There. So that looks really cool, doesn't it? All right, let's glue it in place. And then I'm going to do one thing a little bit different than what Frenchie did. Because I used petal pink, Frenchie used either fairy vanilla or white. Now I have to look carefully. That one went like this. I'm going to add an insert. And I don't know if that's going to look good or not, but we don't know if we don't try. So remember, when you're using liquid glue, just a skinny little line, because you don't want it to ooze, because that makes a mess. There. And then this is going to go on the other one. So this is called a corner fold over card. And the good news is that it stands up. Because when people get a card in the mail, they like to display it on a desktop or a mantle so that people can see. See, look at that. Like so. You could leave it like this. So let's take a look. I was thinking of cutting a piece of white. Oh yeah, and the other tip I have for you on the back, see it says Meandering Meadows paper. So it's number 162735. But then it tells you what colors all go with it. So we've got balmy blue, basic black, blueberry bushel, cherry cobbler, crushed curry, fresh freesia, garden green, granny apple green, highland heather, lemon lime twist, melon mambo, night of navy, orchid oasis, pecan pie, petal pink, pumpkin pie, and shaded spruce. Now, I tell you, I was worried that maybe petal pink wasn't going to be on the list, and I actually picked a color that didn't match. But thankfully, it is on the list. I was not crazy. That's always a good thing. We need those reassurances sometimes, several times a day, that we're not crazy. Okay, so a piece of basic white, and we're going to cut that at, let's see, 4 inches. And remember, our card was 8 1/4, so now I'm going to measure before I cut. So let's measure this to see. Now, I think it's the same size. Yeah, this part is 5 1/2. So with the way the fold goes, it still fits into a regular envelope. So I'm doing this 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we'll see if it looks good or not. And otherwise, we're just going to stamp right on our petal pink. So let's see. I'm not going to glue it down yet. Let's just lay this in here. And then let's close it. And see, does that look nice with the piece of white in there? I think it looks fine. And then I thought, you could do whatever you want. You could stamp, I can't imagine having a better friend. You could stamp thinking of you. Or I like this one too, sending hugs. So I think I'm going to stamp sending hugs on this one. And then you could choose to do it in a soft color, or you could do it in black. Or all sorts of choices, but I I think I'm going to go with black. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I still have Stamparatuses in Chatham, Ontario. So if you would like a Stamparatus, they are no longer available. But it's a fantastic tool. I'm really hoping Stampin' Up! Comes out with something similar. They had to stop creating this thing because of a lawsuit. Okay, there was a copyright issue. Okay, let's have a look. Let me find my Stamparatus for a minute. So I'm just going to eyeball it for a minute, and it looks like I needed about a 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom. And I mean, I could just gently hold on to it like this. And then I'm going to open this up. And lay it in here. This is my magnet. Tight into the corner. Put the magnet on, and that looks like it's fairly straight on there. So close it up. Now it's stuck on here. Got my paper moved. Tuck it again tightly into the corner. And then we need our black ink. Let's move this back a little bit out of the way. Here. I know it seems like quite a production, and really it isn't. I'm just taking a little more time because I have to make sure it's underneath the camera. So tap, tap, tap. And the reason I like using my Stamparatus is because sometimes on the first time that you stamp, it's not dark enough. Now watch, this will be dark enough. And of course it is, it's perfect. But let's say it wasn't perfect, I could ink it up again and stamp in exactly the same place. And I do love my Stamparatus for that. So here we have Sending Hugs. And now we're going to put it in here. Put some adhesive on the back. And just a skinny little bit. And now we're going to lay that in here and try to get an even margin all the way around. There, and now watch. We'll close it up. And how beautiful is that? It doesn't need anything else. Now, I really like it in the petal pink. I think it will look nice in vanilla as well. So I have another one that I'm going to do. And it probably works with other paper too, but it works really well with scenery paper. So thank you, Frenchie, for the inspiration. Thank you for coming to watch my stories and stamps. And I guess the stories were more about the stamping and the pretty paper and about making a difference. We just visited my mother-in-law on Sunday, and she was saying how lonely it is when you live alone. And people experience that in varying degrees. But yeah, think of someone, send them a card. Even your neighbors, just pop something in their mailbox. It doesn't even have to cost you any postage. And just say hello. You never know when a person needs it. So follow the urgings of your heart. I call it the nudging of the Holy Spirit, but you call it whatever you want. But we're on this earth to make a difference, you know? So I hope you do that. Have a super day. Happy stamping. And remember, the links to the products are in my description of the video. They are for my Canadian web shop. The way Stampin' Up! Works is that you can only sell in your own markets. Thankfully, I'm also in the Netherlands, which means I can sell in all of Europe. So if you live in Europe, message me. I would love to be your demonstrator as well as in Canada. Or join my team. It's always a happy place to be. And I love training you and helping you and sharing all the wisdom of 18 years of stamping. So how about that? Anyway, share, comment, be a wonderful, vibrant part of the stamping community because it really does bring me joy. Bye.